I'm sure if you've been paying any attention to the news in the last few years, you'll have seen some stories about ancient DNA. Are you descended from a Neanderthal? What colour is the skin of the Cheddar Man? Can you really clone a woolly mammoth? In the recent uncovering of Richard III, the king in the car park, DNA tests were used to confirm his identity. This was great science, and it also really sparked public imagination. But some historians at the time were asking, well, this is great, but what does it actually tell us about the past? So with my research, which takes place in this kind of eclectic series of work environments just up here, I'm hoping to bring history and how we use ancient DNA a little bit closer together, with a study of venereal diseases like gonorrhea and syphilis in the 18th century. Physicians were really interested in this during this time, and they actually wrote over 1,700 books on the topic by 1825, giving me quite a lot of material to work with. At the start of the 18th century, people believed that there was just one sexually transmitted disease that had many different kinds of symptoms. In 1766, however, one humble medical student from Edinburgh tried to go against this notion and proposed instead that actually syphilis and gonorrhea may well be separate complaints. The controversy over this continued throughout the rest of the century. I'm trying to piece together the debate to understand how it developed, therefore how scientific progress is actually made, and how our perception of diseases can evolve. At the same time as this, anatomists often collected examples of how disease looked in the human bodies, or at least how they thought it looked. They did this by dissecting people who suffered from these diseases and preserving the relevant parts. These body parts in jars are known as anatomical preparations. But what has this all got to do with ancient DNA? Well, we still actually have a lot of these anatomical preparations in our modern museums. For example, here at Glasgow, I'm able to investigate the collections of William Hunter, who's this chap just up here. I'm able to take tiny sample pieces of these and try and use this to detect genetically what bacteria was present when the person died, therefore telling me what diseases they actually had. But of course, disease is so much more than just its biological component. It's also very important to consider how we view it socially and culturally, and this changes constantly over time. So by providing a historical context of the disease and of the specimens, the DNA that I get is able to be a much larger part of a narrative and a story. I'm able to compare our modern understandings of disease against what historical physicians thought and try to use this to understand how did they come to their conclusions during this debate. This way, DNA is able to contribute something new to what we know about the past and to how we've understood diseases throughout history. Thank you very much.